You've done it again, man.
Oh, he's done it again. He's Oscar and all Leeds TV. He's done it again. Right, let's get into this then. Player ratings. Leeds 0, Aston Villa 1. If you haven't joined us already, we are on to our player ratings part now. Phil Miles joins us again on this video with his Leeds United pint glass as well. Right, let's get straight into it anyway. Illan Meslier. I can't even discuss anything Illan Meslier had to do. He was sound.
No.
He was sound, wasn't he?
Yeah, he made a couple of saves.
Yeah. Nothing he could do on the goal, is there really? I don't think.
No. If you're being ultra harsh, you could say him, maybe Costa, both of them.
I'm gonna 2 minutes. Right.
I'm worried now.
Chris Kelly. I'm going to send you the link now. Okay.
Yes.
People are asking for Chris to be in. Chris wants to be in, right? So, Chris, I'm going to send you the link, and you can have your voice.
It's like WWE, this kind of thing. It's like WWE. It's cool.
Chris, let's get Chris in as well, man. Let's have a chat.
Okay.
He's a good man. He's not a thing. I'm going to send.
He's not happy at the Llorente and Ben White comparison. He's not happy at that. He's not happy at that.
Right, so you're getting someone on here just to come at me. Like, I'm really buzzing now.
No, that's not. No.
It's all good. Right, Meslier. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. He's Cage is coming for me again here. Cage is coming for me again. I love you, mate. I love you. But we won 3-1 on aggregate. That's what I'm going to claim. Anyway. And we were the champions. They only won the playoffs. I'll try and clutch at more straws. Anyway.
They did get promoted a season before us.
Yeah, but they weren't champions, mate. They weren't champions. You can't see the shirt anyway. Right. Meslier.
I won't wear my shirt just because I assume we're going to lose every time I wear it now.
Cagey, man. Cagey's got you there.
You've only I've just responded to Cagey there.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Trying to Chris on. No worries. I mean, I know it's only messing. We're only messing. I don't want Janssen back either before anyone starts on that either. Let's just go into a rating for Meslier. There's nothing really to discuss, is there? What are you thinking?
No, not really.
7-ish?
7?
6? I don't know. He did nothing wrong, did he? I don't know.
7's like, he's had a good game. Right.
It's between the two. It's
6.
I don't know. 6? What are you saying, Wayman?
I went for 6, mate, yeah.
Fair enough. There's not much difference between a 6 and a 7 for me anyway. Right, on to the Twitter votes. Yeah, we're on 6s there. So Illan Meslier, 6 out of 10. Let's go on to Luke Ayling. Now, Luke Ayling, defensively, had a tough job tonight against El Ghazi. I thought he did okay in that kind of regards. Nothing, the goal was a total weird situation how it happened. It wasn't down to Ayling losing El Ghazi. A couple of times in that second half where I thought some poor balls into the box, when he had got some really good positions in that second half, saw a little of the ball, got up quite well. What are you thinking, Joe, on Mr. Bill?
I don't think for about 4 games now we've seen Luke, if not more, bombing down that right-hand side that we're so used to doing. We've seen it towards the end of the second half just due to the how deep that Villa were playing at that point. I don't think we've seen the best of him for a few games now, to be honest. So, 6 for me.
WWE commentators are on now. WWE commentators are on.
Don't wait. Oh, no. I don't know if it'll wait there. Let me wait there.
Do you want me to drag out my Ayling rating for as long as I can?
No, it's all right. Are you ready?
What are you doing? I don't even know what you're doing now. You're scaring me.
He looks really angry.
Get the cans out, Chris.
Now then,
How you doing, bud? All right?
How you doing, mate? How you doing, mate?
All right. Yeah, all good, all good. So
I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little bit scared.
No.
Wouldn't it? It's all good
It's all
banter.
about opinions. Right? It's all about opinions.
It is. Chris is in the house. Right, so I seen Chris, you gave Meslier. So who we on to next? Ayling, weren't it? I went
Luke
six,
Ayling.
Phil.
I was basically along the same lines as you, torn between a 5 or a 6. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not allowed half marks, so I went 6, but I could have gone 5. I thought it was bang average. We didn't really see the ball carrying strengths that he's got in this game, but just because he's got a 5 or a 6, it has no impact on my long-term vision of what I actually think of Luke Ayling as a player. I think he's one of the better right backs we've had in a very, very long time, and unfortunately, wasn't his night. Wasn't a lot of our players' nights.
No.
People are still getting mad at that comment. I'm still getting mad at that comment. I'm thinking 6 as well. Chris, what are you saying on Luke Ayling, mate?
5. Just did nothing this game. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong, but nothing. Just a 5. Solid down the middle. Just no special. Nothing really to call out that he absolutely nosed up on either.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, let's just go to Twitter. I think, Twitter's gone 6. A couple of 7s, but I don't see a 7 there from Ayling, to be honest, at all. I don't see a 7 at all. Should we say, I think, majority 6? I don't know.
I'll go up 1. I'll go to 6 just for his hair.
That was the highlight of the game. I thought he was going to get a guitar out first half when he had that hair like that.
Started falling out at some point, didn't it? That bubble wasn't keeping it all in at one point.
Blimey. 10 out of 10 for his hair, is to say. Right, let's go on to Diego Llorente.
I think Chris should start us off because
let him go,
very vocal in the chat.
All right. Llorente was quite clearly our best player on that pitch today, in my opinion. And again, it is all about opinions. Let me get this Ben White comparison, because I have been vocal in the chat about it. You can't compare a player from a different league when we were playing in a different league to the league.
You can have that.
You're also talking about 2 different pitches. That pitch tonight was, again, gopping. But I wouldn't want to be steaming out from the back either, to be honest with you, playing on that pitch, because if you go on your arse, you're leaving a gaping hole in the middle. Yeah. Llorente, for me, fully fit, is a better player than Ben White. Fact. Job done. Argument over.
Mic drop.
What I'll say is, it's a fair point. In terms of Ben White, look, Ben White was superb last season. He was superb, no doubt, question about that. But he's playing against Kiefer Moore. Diego Llorente is playing against people like, Watkins and Aubameyang and people like that. But I will say, I disagree with Chris though in terms of Llorente being our best player. I thought Coops was a lot better out the 2 tonight.
Llorente
for me.
17 ball recoveries Llorente had tonight. 17 ball recoveries. Coops played his diagonal long ball, played it quite well tonight. I like Coops. He had a solid game. I think Llorente was better. Like Joe said earlier, it looked like he was going to get caught out. Didn't. Stays on his feet, looks controlled, and this is his 2nd full game back as well. Let's remember, 20 games in.
Yeah, no,
there was. Sorry, just quickly, Phil. Yeah. There was one moment, right, where Watkins turned him, and I'm like, "What's he doing?" And he still got back and recovered, and it was like, "Yeah, he knows what he's doing." Look. I think the only disappointing thing for me was the way he play acted, and then when Watkins grabbed him, he jumped up like he'd never been hurt. I'm like, we don't need that. But go on, Phil. What were you going to say, mate?
Yeah, no, I would agree with some of what Chris has said. I mean, by all means, yeah. Let me just first get this out there. Ben White wasn't on this pitch for 1 game of the season. It was 46 games of the season. So, I know we shouldn't be comparing our current players to our past players, but it's just a natural thing to do. I do think that ball carrying and the job that Bielsa wants doing at right centre back, I don't think that, regardless of the pitch, I don't think Llorente's done that as of yet. And realistically, I'd like to see a bit more of that. I don't think he was terrible. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to base my permanent opinion on one performance. But at this moment in time, I'm still feeling more confident about Robin Koch than I am about Diego Llorente. I really wouldn't accept that he was our best player tonight. I don't think that at all. I don't think he was our worst, but realistically, I've given him a 5, and he was one of the only players that I would have gone.
What did you say, Ayling, Phil? 6?
Sorry? No, I said I put 5 for Ayling, but I said I could have gone 5 or 6. I could have gone 5 or 6 for the majority of our players tonight. I don't think many people shone or played well. I think it's easy to say that people played badly. I want to maintain sort of a level-headed look at everybody and just say, like, look, everyone was bang average. Let's move on. But from what I was looking from Diego Llorente tonight, I think we possibly would feel better if we have Robin Koch there.
I can't disagree with that. That's where my whole point came from, where I was getting stick of just saying.
You're on mute.
Wayman, we can't hear you.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
As well.
I get that, but I think we're just looking at this game, and it felt like on the post-match that we were digging him out unnecessarily. It felt like. That's
I was asked the question. I was asked the question by Phil.
We're blaming Phil.
It's not my fault.
It's not Phil's fault. People are just jumping on me. Like I'm just listing out the things I think Koch's better at doing than Diego Llorente. Yeah. And look, Llorente's only 2 games in, but Koch's younger. He's got more time to develop. I think in terms of, well, I was going to say, in terms of condition, he's better, but I can't even say that at the minute, can we? Because Koch's out of the team. But would you disagree with that, Chris? I mean, if you're looking into next season on the right side of that centre-back 2,
no,
both are fully fit. Both had a full pre-season. Who are you going for?
I've said before on this stream, mate, I think Koch and Struijk are the future at centre-back. There's nothing to change. I'm going off one game, and we can't compare Koch to Llorente because at the minute Koch's on the treatment table. So going off this game, for me, he was our best player, and that's not saying much, by the way, because I think we were poor as a team today. But,
all right, you can have
that.
He was our best player.
Yeah. You were making him sound like the second coming of Maldini for that game today, Chris. I'm messing. Let's get. For me, I'm going to say Llorente. I'm going to go with 7. Fine.
Oh, mate, you cannot do what you did in the first half of the show and then give him a 7. You can't.
He's
appeasing the fans, Phil.
You've been bullied into that 7.
I'm not appeasing the fans. Go with 6. I was between a 6 or a 7.
You've been bullied.
I've not been bullied. I made the point. You lost headers against Watkins. You did okay. 17 ball recoveries. What are you going to throw at me? What? What have I done wrong? I'm just getting attacked. I can't do right for doing wrong here. I can't do right for doing wrong. You asked me for my opinion on Llorente. Right. He was fine.
You can't give him a 7. You can't.
6 then. 6. Whatever.
I've gone for 7.
Why? There we go. Thank you, Wayman.
I have gone for 7 though. I thought he had a good game. He played some decent passes. He played some decent passes. Yes, I suppose. I think the thing is, like, Phil looks at it from obviously. Phil, it's more I guess more media journalistic kind of ratings, whereas normally our barometer starts at 7.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. I mean, for me, I think he was good today. That's the 7, whereas Phil might...
I'm saying 5 is bang average.
Yeah,
and then
this is where it is. Yeah.
I'm happy to go 6. I'm happy to go 6. I mean, 7 maybe a bit generous.
Now you've been bullied into a 6.
I mean, I've just said 6 and a 7. I'm not really that bothered, to be fair. What's a 6 and a 7 between friends at the end of the day? I'm not too fussed between this.
Give him a 10 and have it done with.
Listen, Chris is the one who's saying he played like Maldini today. I've not said that.
Go on, Chris. What are you giving him?
I'll tell you what, I was borderline 6 or 7, but I gave him for going down like there was a sniper on top of the West Stand.
Yeah.
You were about to have a go at me for saying 7 then, Chris, and now you're saying 6 or 7. I can't win here.
You would have happily given him a 6 before you went off, Oscar.
I don't believe this. I'm getting hammered before I said Llorente played well. I'm getting hammered now because. Right, let's go to Twitter. We're not. Yeah, there. Haha. Hurrah. Right, Twitter. We are split on this one. I'm not too bothered between 6 or 7. They're both all right. Twitter.
Twitter's a dangerous place, man.
53% have gone 7.
Woo!
Yeah, 7. Victory. So there you go.
Moral victory. Well, fair play.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Anyway, we'll move on. Cooper, 10, straight away. Right, Liam Cooper, what did you think today?
7 for me. He was the same as Llorente. I 7. You know where my head's at, 7.
Yeah, I suppose if we are giving Llorente a 7, then I can't disagree. Joe Coops, he did nothing wrong. He looked solid, and he's looked solid for a few games now. Yeah, I think that's fair. If Llorente's a 7, then Coops is. I think you can't mark him any lower, I guess.
It's a good point from KG. He had all the Mings back, thus keeping them on side for the goal. So poor, but like KG hates Cooper. So
I can't wait till we get onto Roberts. I can't wait till we get onto Tyler.
KG, shouldn't we? We should bring KG. KG, send me a WhatsApp if you're free.
Yeah, let's get KG on. I want KG on. Right.
Stand by.
So we said it's 7s for Coops then. Are we saying 7s?
I've gone 6, but that's not a criticism. I had Llorente at 5, so one above Llorente.
Yeah. Okay.
I did think Cooper was the better of the two, but I think 7. I think 7 to be fair. Right, let's look at Twitter. I think Twitter's gone 7. Yeah, 54% have gone 7s on Twitter. So let's go to left back. Stuart Dallas, who certainly started at left back. I didn't even notice Stuart Dallas today, but not in the first half was okay, but from large spells I didn't really notice Stuart Dallas today. Just decent. Didn't really do anything wrong. Didn't do anything right. I don't know. It was just an all right performance from your left back. Would you agree with that, Chris?
Well, I gave Ayling a 5, so I'd give Dallas the same because again, I think it's exactly the same call out. He didn't do anything wrong, and again, I'm probably working one below on what my average is to you guys who tend to sit around 6 maybe. But for me, I gave Stewie a 5, and that's no criticism of him. He's a great player, one of my favourites. He's super solid every week, but he didn't do anything wrong today. But I didn't see the Dallas that I expect as well, just stuff up like he has been. So I went 5.
Wait, sorry, Phil.
6 for me. I think I rated Ayling the same, but yeah, I think the disappointing thing with me was the pass to Raphinha. I remember the pass to Raphinha, that sticks in my mind. There was 3 on the bounce and one of them was Dallas, and that's so un-Dallas-like. Just no one was at the races today, so 6, yeah.
Yeah, as much as I know you won't let me give half marks, I'm kind of torn between the pair of them. Both Joe and Chris make good points. Everything they've said, I've just echoed. 5.5. Anywhere, you go between a 5 or a 6, whatever the masses say. But I don't think he did anything terrible, but he was just bang average.
Yeah, I just thought he was okay. 6, I think.
Like
I think
the rest of him.
Just a classic 6, I think. I don't think it's just a notch below what he normally is, Dallas, for me today. I just think he just wasn't quite. Yeah, that pass. I think that pass to Raphinha was the one where you can tell it wasn't quite Dallas's day. And it's a very rare occurrence, to be fair. And I think Dallas has been one of our best players once again this season, like he was last season. Twitter's generous. Twitter 48% have gone 7s, but I didn't see a 7 there for any of the fullbacks. To be fair, I mean. I'm thinking we overrule this one. To be fair, I think what are you guys thinking? I'm still sticking by the 6. Overrule. Chris, overrule. Joe, overrule.
Yeah, overrule. Yeah,
overruled. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for Dallas. Right, let's go on to Pascal Struijk in central defensive midfield. Just gave the ball away too much. Some nice passes, but just gave the ball away too much. Didn't get on it enough. Not great for me. I mean, Chris, feelings on Pascal today?
I don't I don't want to go in hard on Pascal. He's not a defensive midfielder. I've been saying for weeks, whether in the chat or on this stream, for me, though we don't really like Alioski at left back, but I'd rather see Stuart Dallas at CDM. Just Pascal's a centre back and a very, very good centre back. Like him there. He's lost at the midfield. Sometimes too high up. That doesn't seem to drop. You know, we watch Calvin drop in between the back two. You don't see Pascal really do.
No.
I don't want to dig him out because I really like him and it's not my favourite position. But I went 5.
I literally get the impression at times that the players miss him out. I genuinely sometimes see that. It looks to me like the players are missing him out. When Ayling had the ball, for example, Ayling had the ball a throw in at one point, and he seemed to be telling him, like, you need to be here, you need to be there. So, yeah, I feel a bit sorry for him. And I know he doesn't need to be felt sorry for, man. He's a grown man, you know, he's playing Premier League football. But I do feel a bit harsh, like, getting on his back when he's playing in an unfamiliar position and he's asked to do a job that maybe not a lot of the fans want him to do. I don't mind him because, but I do feel at times the players miss him out.
I agree. I mean, I would question... I wouldn't like to see Stuart Dallas play at CDM, I must be honest, because I think the qualities that Calvin has, which are obviously his distribution, his long-range passing, but, I mean, the defensive side of the game, I do think that Dallas could do the similar job, maybe, not as good, but a similar job to Calvin, but progressing the ball up the pitch, I don't think that long range of passing distribution that Calvin has, I don't think that Dallas has that, which is why I kind of think that Struijk ends up playing there, which is what kind of singles him out to getting this kind of criticism. The same as you two guys, I don't want to criticize him. I don't think he's done much wrong, but you know, that's not his position, so therefore he hasn't done a great deal right either. So I wouldn't be giving him more than a 5 for this game, and obviously the fact that he's been hooked the earliest of anybody would kind of signal that neither would be Elsa. But end of the day, it's not his position. Like, let's get him back to centre back where he has looked really strong, and let's just see him give what he can give, and let's get him being a threat from set pieces again, and hope he can score a couple of goals as well before the end of the season.
Yeah.
Well, we're joined by KG. Oh man, KG. I mean, you weren't happy with me saying we won 3-1 that I could get. You weren't happy with that. I mean, you know, I'm just trying to take any victory. I'm trying to keep morale up, mate. I'm trying to keep morale up. You know, I'm a passion merchant, as you say. What was your take on Struijk, mate?
Oh, man. I've only just caught a little bit of the conversation there, but what Phil said, man, getting back into centre-back once we got players back, because he's good. He's all right as a CDM, but he's not. You see, when he's on the ball, he doesn't know what to do with it. Not like a natural CDM would. You know, he has to think a lot before he does something with the ball. And you don't really get that time, especially with the players that Villa had in midfield today. They purposely had Ramsey on for a bit of energy. They got McGinn in there. They're not going to give you that time that he requires. So getting back in defence as soon as possible. The sooner Robin Koch is back, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that, KG. You'll get all the stick then. You'll say, why are you having to go at Llorente? Why are you having to go at Llorente kind of thing? Don't say that, mate.
No, for me, it's a rotation thing with Struijk, Koch, and Llorente. You know, someone there, I think there's someone in there called Nunu, something there. He was on about, are you guys blind about Cooper? Listen, watch that goal again in slow motion a few times, and it will get on your nerves just what he's doing. Everyone else has pushed up. Everyone else has gone up. He's there with his hands on Mings' back doing some kind of movement. I don't know what he's doing. And if he's not doing that, that goal doesn't happen because it would be chalked offside.
I think
it's things like that. Those are the margins that we're talking about in the Premier League. Those are the things.
But realistically, like the way that goal is scored is because Watkins falls over when he's trying to shoot and skews a shot. Like, if he doesn't have that look of skewing a shot and it falling perfectly to El Ghazi, like nobody's talking about Cooper doing that. But
we could say the same at the start of the game when Bamford did the exact same thing, but he just went a little high for Raphinha. You know, these are the margins that we're talking about in the Premier League. This isn't no championship football.
I agree with you, but I think that's hard to single out Cooper for that.
I'm not singling him out. I'm not singling him out, but he was at fault for the goal. He was asleep.
I don't think. I think that's really cruel. To be fair, like I'm looking at it from an analytical point as well. Like, I just don't think you can.
Oh, you're one of them.
Cooper.
All right then.
I don't think you. I don't think you can single out Cooper for that.
Oh my word! That was way. Whoa!
Hey, that's funny. That though. Wow.
Fired.
That was.
I just don't think it's Cooper's fault, but whatever.
Cage, what's your opinion on Llorente though tonight?
Sorry, what was that?
What's your opinion on Llorente tonight?
He was fine. The thing is, he's getting better with match fitness. The guy is looking how he should as a Spanish centre half. This is what I don't get by people that are blindly defending Liam Cooper, but are having a go at Llorente. It don't make no sense to me. Those are the people that are obviously still being, drawn in by the bringing out a mascot on an iPad. Those things don't wash with me. It's about what you're doing on the pitch. And Llorente, Klich, and Struijk in the centre back positions are levels above Liam Cooper. And it's not being horrible. It's just facts.
Well, did you think Cooper was bad tonight, though?
It's not about being bad overall, but football's a moments game. And if he pushes up with everyone else, if he pushes up with everyone else, that goal isn't happening. Because as soon as that goal went in, I said, "Well, that's offside. It's clearly offside."
Yeah.
Then the replay comes on, and it's like, "Oh my days! Look at this guy. He's just got his hands on Tyrone Mings' back for no reason at all, and it's 1-0."
Yeah,
it's moments.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I do think that out of 90 minutes of football, it's incredibly harsh to pull that out of 90 minutes of what I think was a solid performance from Cooper to be able to say, look, this is what he's done wrong. Like, I get why you pull it out because that's their goal and that's all they've created and that is why they've won. But I do think that's incredibly harsh to sort of say, like, Llorente's done well, but Cooper hasn't. I just struggle to make that sort of connection between the two. But I can accept the point. He should have been further out.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Liam Cooper. No, just wait on that moment as well. Liam Cooper tried to do a split pass to Raphinha, and it went absolutely nowhere. Llorente tried a few of those balls, and they did hit the man. That's again. This isn't just 1 or 2 moments. This is the game.
But at the same time, there was a great ball from Cooper to Raphinha, which ended up getting us that free kick that the Sky commentators were talking about. Target should have been sent off. Like, both centre backs are going to try passes out from the back, and they are going to have varying results. Some are going to be good, some are going to be bad. And I would say, like, Llorente's passing doesn't tend to be the long diag, which is more of Cooper's strengths. And those long diags of Cooper's are very good, I'd say, on the whole. And the passing out of the back from Llorente, I haven't seen enough yet to say that it's as good as what I see from Cooper passing wise.
I think the thing is, Llorente, as much as he's a more talented footballer than Liam Cooper, I'm not going to question that for 1 second.
He plays for Spain.
I'm not going to question that for 1 second. What I will say is that Cooper, if Cooper had done something as daft as what Llorente was doing for the first 20 minutes against Southampton, 4 times he gave the ball away in stupid areas. Cooper wouldn't do that. I mean, as much as Cooper's less talented, sometimes he might make a mistake, but Llorente was trying to be too clever for me from time to time, and he's got to find that balance between the two. I still thought Cooper was the better of the two tonight.
There was a moment though where Llorente plays a lovely pass into Tyler, and Tyler.
When it comes off, it's brilliant.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. And if you look at that goal the other night, it was actually the one that we missed because of the Sky replay. That was Llorente into Roberts through to Bamford. So he's got that little bit about him, man. I rate.
Oscar, I think we're being outnumbered here, pal. We should just abort this.
I like Llorente. I like Llorente, but I just think I don't know. I just think it's a couple of times when he takes too many risks on the ball. But I do like him. I'm not going to. I'm just I didn't think he was bad tonight. To be fair, I got stick when I said 7, but I thought he was all right tonight. But I'm not saying Cuba's better than Llorente. That's not what I'm saying.
Me, to be fair.
I'm not saying Cuba's better than Llorente. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying tonight I didn't think there was a lot in it. I didn't think there was a lot in it, to be fair. I think Llorente is going to get better. He's going to get to get more used to the system. But anyway, we're on Pascal Struijk, aren't we? So what we're saying for Pascal Struijk, I'm thinking 5s as well. I think
5.
6.
Chris has gone 5. KG?
Yeah,
I'm getting
5,
feedback
6.
here. I'm getting feedback.
Yeah, I can hear.
No, there's nothing on in here. It's quiet in here. Yeah.
Let me test it. That's all right now. I can't hear it now. That's all right. Let's try it again.
There we go. We're good to
Right,
go.
we're sound. Right, let's go to Twitter. Right, Twitter's gone 5. Let's move on from that. Okay, because after and Pascal Struijk, we got back onto Llorente again. I won't lie, I like him as a player, but anyway, right, let's go on to
no more Llorente, chat.
Yeah.
We're in midfield
Llorente.
now. It's all good.
No more Diego. Right, let's go on to Helder Costa. Didn't take his opportunity tonight. Can't remember him doing anything. And I can't remember anything positive from Helder Costa tonight. Not the worst player on the pitch by any means. Just didn't do anything. I mean, I'll go to Chris first.
One sec.
Yeah?
ST. Wait there, I'm going to get this comment. No, but
Come
Cooper is... wait, though. Cooper is championship level. Sorry to all those who have the agenda. You are the one with the agenda.
Yeah, fair.
You're the one with the agenda, bro.
He's not a championship defender anymore. He may have been in the past. He's a Premier League defender now.
As far as I'm aware, we're a Premier League club and Liam Cooper plays for us. So technically, he is playing in the Premier League.
He is a Premier League captain of a team that are in the top half. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to accept that one day.
Oh, that's it. That's the big down there from Phil.
Is he better than Llorente as well, Phil?
No comment.
with people like Phil, who just said that these are the guys that want the championship club to get us into the Champions League, and it's not going to happen. You have to let go of these kind of players. It doesn't matter what they've done for the club previously. It's about moving on.
Of course
then,
we do.
You know what?
I'm not saying that we need to keep hold of him forever.
These are also the same people that if Raphinha decides to leave in the summer, we'll go, oh, well, why don't we get to keep Raphinha? We got Liam Cooper as captain. No, you can't have both. You have to improve the squad as we're going along.
Mate, I threw it out there on the last show. I think if somebody bids fucking 60 million quid for Raphinha in the summer, I think we do a Leicester, and unfortunately we take the money. I don't want him to go. I think he's brilliant, but that's the way that we're going to have to work for the first few seasons in the Premier League if we want to get to that Champions League level.
The other thing, right, we're not 3 seasons in here still going.
No.
Oh, Cooper's at
What is that?
6 months into our first season pack, and
Exactly.
Liam Cooper, captain that brought us up. You can't just put straight out the door.
100%. Liam Cooper has actually adjusted to the Premier League a lot better than a lot of us thought he would. He's played a lot better. He's managed the situations that he's been dealt with like a hell of a lot better. And
Right, KG, would you sell Liam Cooper in the summer?
Oh, wow.
That's probably the easiest way of going about it.
Would I sell him? No, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You can have a Liam Cooper in the squad, but it's about not having him in every single game. This is the point I'm trying to make. Listen, people out there thinking I'm reactionary or got an agenda. I just want the best for my club. I don't care about individuals. I want the best for my club. So I want the best players available.
And who does?
No, we got injuries
Cooper tonight. So what's the point hammering him for the way he's played tonight? I don't get it.
Who's hammering him? You didn't point out that no one's hammering Liam Cooper. We're just pointing out that he was at fault for the goal. But for some reason, your stat sheet or whatever it is you're reading hasn't seen
an impression of him a minute ago, KG.
I don't
I'm not hammering Liam Cooper though. No, I'm not hammering Liam Cooper. I'm just saying these are the moments that we're talking about, and it's not the first time he's done it either. That is going to happen if he has continuous run of games. That's why we need Struijk. That's why we need Klich. That's why we need Llorente all fit, so that he's less of a selection issue when everyone's fit. It's as simple as that. I don't think I'm speaking another language.
Absolute box office, no matter what. This is absolute box office. This.
Get your stat sheet out. That's just.
I do think long term, Struijk is a perfect successor to Liam Cooper, but right now, I think that Liam Cooper's not really doing a great deal wrong. I think he's been absolutely fantastic for the vast majority of this season when he's been fit and he's been playing. And I have been one of them people that have called him League One Liam in the past and said that he wasn't good enough for the Championship, but I'm happy to accept I was proved wrong with the way he's performed in the Premier League. I genuinely can't see what he's doing all that wrong. I do accept what you've said about he could have stepped up, but on a full scale of a 90-minute performance of what, in my opinion, was a 0-0 game at best, I really struggle to see how anyone can say that Liam Cooper is the problem that we've had tonight.
And you're right. You know what? You're actually correct there. It was a 0-0 game, but why wasn't it?
Look. A lucky drop of a ball.
Face.
Right, we were talking about Elder Costa here, by the way. We were talking about Elder Costa, right?
That was my fault for picking that guy's comment.
Look, I'll hold my hands up as well. I was Liam Cooper after that Cardiff game, I think it was, when they had Warnock in charge. He got himself sent off inside 10 minutes. I didn't want to see Liam Cooper play for Leeds again at that point, to be fair. I thought that was it. I mean, I can't believe the captain's just done that in a big game and got himself sent off, but he's turned it round, to be fair. Right, Helder Costa. I don't even know what to talk about with Helder Costa. It just didn't really affect the game. I mean,
let's just keep talking about Llorente.
I mean, this is box office, isn't it? To be fair, just right, Chris Helder Costa, speak to me.
Shit. I'm not being funny, and you know what? I might as well cover Tyler off at the same time. We can't play us in the Premier League if we're being unemotional, right? Which is what we've just been talking around about Cooper, who have one good game in 10. Sorry, no way should Helder Costa be starting over Jack Harrison. The quiet games, and maybe he's a bit tired. Who knows? But Helder Costa, take £2 million for him and get him out the fucking door in the summer. And
that's a £14 million loss, Chris. I can't take that.
Fuck it, I don't care if we lose out on one player in the summer. Just get him gone.
I thought you quite liked Costa, Chris.
No, I don't. Just because what I've always complained about is it felt like people were digging out Tyler but giving Costa room. And I've said Costa started the season well. There's a player there, but we can't in the Premier League allow for players in the squad that have one good game in 10. You just can't do it. And he looked despondent after 10 minutes for me. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but on that pitch tonight.
Target dominated that battle, didn't they?
Yeah, and that Target, which just makes it all the worse. I can't stand Matt Target. I think he's an absolute pumper.
Yeah. Echoed.
I don't know what to rate him score-wise. 3's harsh, but bollocks, I'm going to 3.
Wow.
That is incredibly
fair enough. Okay, Phil, feelings on...
Well, 3 is savage, man. 3 is unnecessary. I'm not going to lie, I've not rated anybody less than a 5. Everybody's 5 or 6 for me, but I genuinely don't see, again, what Costa did wrong. I'm really going to regret saying that now because I'm about to get hammered here, but I agree with what Chris said, and I said it on the last show. I wouldn't have taken Jackie out of the starting lineup, and I think Jackie is a better player overall than Helder Costa. I would prefer to see Jackie start on the left and Rafa start on the right, and if they need to invert, let them invert. I think Helder Costa has improved a lot over the last few games and made a good case for starting today, but I would prefer to see him as an impact sub on 60 minutes. But, you know, he started. That's Bielsa's choice. We have to respect that. And overall, I really don't think he did a great deal wrong. You know, the Arsenal game, he came off the bench and within 5 minutes, he'd basically given a goal away. He didn't do that tonight. You could, if you're being extremely harsh, which again would be agenda driven, he could have been quicker to react for the goal, him or Meslier, but I think that's incredibly harsh. Even a 5 for me would be harsh. I don't think he was as bad as some of the other players. Like, I know we're going to get on to Tyler, but I think Costa played better than Tyler Roberts tonight.
Sorry, I know I completely went off on it there about Costa.
Oh, you bit.
Track back.
If he hangs around and if
Yeah.
to play him, I sincerely hope that Helder Costa finds the confidence or whatever it is that he's lacking at the minute, proves me wrong and absolutely owns it. Because at the end of the day, he's pulling on a Leeds shirt, and when he's on that, I'll support him. But I'll also call him out when I think he's been absolute crap.
I actually thought his body language was a lot more positive tonight than it has been in recent weeks. I genuinely thought he looked a tiny bit more confident than he had in the past, and I think that's why Bielsa may have started him.
I think it was the right decision to start him. I do, and I know people will disagree with me, and that's fine. But I think it was the right decision to start him because Raphinha rightly should have started on the left up against El Hamadi and tortured him. The fact is that didn't happen. We were poor, and that's why, as a collective, we were just poor going forward. Raphinha was off it tonight. He poor his game for me in the Leeds United shirt. We can't, but that's not just on him. And his levels are up here. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he was rubbish, but he was still trying to make things happen. He was let down by his teammates a number of times when they were trying to play him in. They were either too long, too short, behind him. You know, it was frustrating to watch. But I still stand by it was the right decision to start Raphinha on the left and Costa on the right. Because I know you won't agree, but Jack Harrison came on and did note. And he's been doing note for a good few weeks now. For me, personally, maybe against Wolves, he put that down to Semedo and he had a decent game. He had a couple of chances and he was conscious of him. But I think it was the right decision. Do I think Costa was amazing? No.
But Joe,
just Costa.
Who would you fancy to play themselves into form more between Costa and Harrison? I mean, in terms of moving forwards.
Yeah, moving forward, I felt that's okay now with hindsight.
No, fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, prior to this game. I think if next week, West Ham, it'll go back to how it was. I just think Bielsa looked at it right. I want Raphinha from the left. Matty Cash is out. He's a great player. He's back. You should be able to torture him. And that was the right decision for me. And Costa than Harrison, for me, personally. You think of any times, and I might be wrong because my memory is not the great, but can you tell me any times where Harrison has done anything from the right?
No.
I can't. I literally can't. It's all left.
I agree.
I think it was the right decision. I might be wrong. Tell me in the chat, but from the right, I can't remember anything he's done. It's always
Harrison's a left-sided winger. It's as simple as that.
The only time I've seen Harrison do anything from the right was Arsenal in the FA Cup, where he tore him apart for 45 minutes off the right, but not this season. I've not seen him do anything right.
No.
Fair enough.
What was your take on Costa, KG?
Yeah. Luke Harrison in the chat, I completely agree there.
Let's have a look.
Helder Costa today, for me, I think he let himself down because this was his chance now to come in and put Harrison on the bench for a few games and make Bielsa have a decision to make, and he didn't do it today. So I think he'll be disappointed in himself that he didn't do more when he was on the pitch. And pretty much that's how it's gone. And this is what, going back to what Chris said that I say, you can't just keep on getting a glimmer of hope from when you have a one good game in 10, 15. This is what we have to move on from. If you want to be better than what we are now, which is 10th, and this is what we are. We are 10th, and that is exactly how we are. We're losing one, winning two, losing two. This is just how we are. We're going to have to be better. All these players have to get better if Bielsa can get any more out of them. But Costa, Costa's like 25, 26 now. I don't know if he's going to get any more out of him at this stage now. So maybe it is something that we have to move on, or maybe we just can't because it will be too expensive to do so. But this was his opportunity today, and he just didn't take it. It was very disappointing, in all honesty, because I thought with him starting, I know Joe mentioned it yesterday, I thought with him starting, he'd really grasp at the chance today. And it was a makeshift wing situation as well. They switched over, and it still didn't make a difference. Not good enough, man.
Do you not think for a player, though, that being given 90 minutes in the position you actually like to play in would be fairer to judge a player on? rather than being swapped over every 5 minutes and told to go and play on a different wing and doing things that aren't to your strengths. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't think he was great, but at the same time, I really don't think he did a great deal wrong. I don't think it's fair to base a judgment based on 90 minutes either. I think he's had a bad run of form. He's come back and he's given some sort of testament as to why he should be given a chance. He's been given a chance.
I don't think that's what's being said. I think we can all agree, and I will back that as well. Is that it was only 2 weeks ago I was saying Costa should be sold. Don't like it. To be honest, Wolves sold us a bit of a dud. We in a way, because even in the Championship,
16 million is a lot.
Yeah, Costa for the price we paid for him should have been tearing it up, and he never has. I'm not advocating that. People are saying how can anyone back him and all that sort of stuff. What I was making the point of is that I still feel he was right to start the game. More so, I agree with Bielsa the way he started the game. Do I think he had a great game? No. Do I think he should start next time around? No. I'm not saying that. And I do agree, like with what KG and Chris said. I think if you want to get to that next, I don't know. It was very telling early. Look, if Perveda's fit, Costa might not have even got a sniff.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Joe. There's someone in the chat there, some damn bug guy. Listen, don't be rude, innit? Don't be rude because no one's being rude to you. And I do remember our last Premier League experience. So don't even chat to me like that. Okay? Because I'm sure if you saw me, you wouldn't be talking to me like that. Right? So just be respectful. You can disagree with opinion, but talking BS on what? I'm fully aware of transfer business in the Premier League. I've probably been watching Premier League longer than you have. You probably only watched Leeds United. So just watch your mouth, innit?
That's fair enough. Moving on, Costa ratings.
I was going to say, right, let's get on to the ratings. Go on, Wayman.
6.
I've just seen what Dan Dobbs said there, to be fair. I mean, it's a discussion. It's
Yeah,
it's not, we're not going to agree on everything.
Give your opinions and give them respectfully because no one's calling anybody in the chat names. No one's calling anyone names. So if you think I'm talking BS, just disagree and move on, innit?
I just find it laughable.
I'm certain you wouldn't be talking to me like that in my face. I'm certain of it.
I just find it laughable how people just pick out one thing, like you said, and then anyway, it's like right. KG, what are you saying for Costa out of 10?
4.
Okay,
has to be a 4.
Chris,
do you know what? I'll step up to a 4 and agree with Kate because I was ranting when I shouted.
Step up to a 4.
Step up to it. That just sums it up, doesn't it? That sums it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I went 6. Whether that's well received or not, I'm going 6. Bang average.
Can I just ask you, Phil? I'm not look. Honestly, it's perfectly entitled. But what?
Don't ask. Go on.
If we're saying 5's average, I mean, what was it that Costa did that you felt? It's just a genuine question. What was it you felt Costa did that was above kind of average?
So my 5's were for Ayling, Llorente so far, and Struijk and Dallas, and then as we'll see in a minute, I've given the same for Klich and Tyler. So I give 5's based on if I think someone is bang average for what they do, and bearing in mind over the last 3 or 4 months since we've been in the Premier League, the first 3 weeks of the season, Costa was okay, but from October through until January, I would struggle to have given him a 5 for pretty much every performance. And I don't think I'm the only person that's going to have said that. For a lot of it, he was absolute garbage. And so many people have said they drive him to another club thing. And they would have been right to say that because he was not great. But I think based on his general performance this season, it would be hard to justify giving him a 5 and saying he was bang average tonight based on some of his other performances, which is seemingly his average. I think Ayling was less than his average tonight. Ayling is usually a 6 or a 7 every game. Ayling deserves a 5. But in my opinion, I would say Costa wasn't bang average. I think he was okay. I don't think he did all that wrong. And I'd struggle to pick out any individual action that he did tonight where you'd say that was garbage. He should do better. Whereas with the other people I've given 5s to, I can pick out at least 3 or 4 different actions where you'd say that's why I've given him a 5.
Do you know what, Phil? I understand your thought process, but I'm genuinely bemused how you're scoring Llorente lower than Costa.
I think a lot of it. I mean, fair play. I'm a Leeds fan. You're a Leeds fan. I think a lot of the ratings sort of reflect on a gender-driven basis. So you'll see people rate Liam Cooper lower simply because they don't like him. You'll see people rate Helder Costa and Tyler Roberts lower because they don't like them. It's not necessarily a genuine reflection of what you've seen in a game. And I must admit, with my Leeds United fan hat on, Liam Cooper, Helder Costa, Tyler Roberts, all 3 of them, even Alioski. I love Alioski. But moving forward next season, do I think we can win the league with Alioski starting at left back? Of course I don't. I don't think we can win the league with Liam Cooper starting at centre-back. I don't think we can win the league with Costa and Roberts in the team. But right now, on today's performance, I just don't really see what Costa did wrong.
Well, let's move on a bit.
Here you go. You can't do anything wrong when you've done nothing at all. There you go.
That's true. I was going to say that, to be fair. I was going to say that.
Okay.
I've gone 5. I've written down 5 for Costa. I just thought I could even go 4, but I think 5. I think just on the basis of I was quite generous in other plays. I don't think it is, though. I honestly don't think it is. I can see why. KG and Chris have gone for 4s. I can definitely see that. But let's go to Twitter. Right, Twitter has gone. Well, yeah, Costa. I mean, Twitter's gone 5. 45% have gone 5. So, I mean, can we agree on the 5? Can we shake hands on the 5, lads?
Yeah. Take it and run.
Right, we'll shake hands on the 5. Right, we'll move on because we were on Costa for a while there. Right, let's go on to Mateusz Klich, to the centre midfielder. So Mateusz Klich for me is clearly playing through an injury. It's not a good position to be in. We've got no one to come in for Mateusz Klich because if Jamie Shackleton was fit, I mean, no doubt Jamie Shackleton would have started this game today, or any centre mid was fit at the start of this game today. Are you concerned now, Joe, in terms of now between now and the end of the season, in terms of how we're going to manage this Klich situation?
Yeah, we were speaking about it. You know, they mentioned this hip injury, and then he goes off in the last game, and he I don't know, he's just not quite at the races. I still think, you know I see a lot of it in the chat. People talking about how he's not good enough. I put him in that bracket above the players that we're speaking about then, just the Costas, the Roberts, the Alioskis. He still be here, and rightly so, because I think he's a great player, and at times he can turn it on. It's just he set himself such high standards. You know, like some people are saying he's awful and all that sort of stuff. I don't agree, and I will never agree with that comments. This guy plays for Poland, man. You know, he's not awful, man. He's not awful. He was more involved than you would say than Costa and stuff tonight. But again, it's hard because he is clearly carrying a knock. Like the Lord said, I think maybe he does need some sort of surgery or something like that. But we're in a position with a small squad that we can't afford to do that. And you need to really respect Klich a little bit because he's putting himself and maybe even his
chances at a Euros are on the line.
Chances at a Euros,
which is awful to think of, considering all the work he did. Probably Poland's best player in qualifying.
He was playing ill. He played ill. You know, I know some people might disagree, but there's some players that wouldn't. You know, he's played so many games for this Leeds United side, so that's where I find it hard. Where people say he's not good enough, and that he wasn't great tonight, but you know my ratings are always decent. So, yeah, but no, Pono, the guy, no Pono, but you said, one sec,
that's
so much, yeah, but there was one before.
Let's have a look. I'll find that. Let's have a look. Okay.
5 awful. No, my apologies. Someone else. I'm sorry. Everyone's triggered tonight, aren't they? But I've seen people.
I'm the calm one now.
I'm not so much you then, mate, but I have seen people. Sorry, my apologies. No, you're right. We are rating him for his performance tonight. And I agree with you, you know, 5, 6. 5, 6. I'm going to go 6 because I just try to remain positive at all times.
Okay. I'll go to Phil. Phil, what was your take on Klich tonight?
I went 5. Like Joe said, it could have been a 5 or a 6. I would go 0.5, but you won't let me. A lot of what Joe said, he's injured. It's as simple as that. If we had a deeper squad, he wouldn't be playing right now, and he'd be hopefully sent off for surgery, and we could avoid the Adam Forshaw situation. And I just hope that doesn't happen to Klich, because 2 seasons ago, when we started that chant, it could be 20 yards or 30 yards. We started that chant because every single away game we went to, Matthias Klich scored a goal. And yes, like KG told me half an hour ago, that was in the Championship. That's not in the Premier League. But, you know, with Matthias Klich, he's shown us what he has got. I do think a lot of last season, he didn't show what he showed the season before. But the thing with Matthias Klich is if you watch Matthias Klich, you see the game. If you don't watch Matthias Klich, you don't see the game. It's as simple as that. Matthias Klich does a lot of things you won't notice, and it's hard to do those things that you don't notice when you have an injury that requires surgery. I could hardly get out of bed to be able to play football, let alone play 90 minutes in a Premier League game when I need hip surgery. So I think we've got to give props to him. He's playing through the pain. He's doing what he can, and he's still getting away with what I would call a 5 out of 10 performance instead of doing what you would call a Helder Costa 3 out of 10. So fair play to him.
KG, what was your take on Matthias Klich? I'm thinking more 5s as well. I'm a bit more along Phil's way of thinking. I don't think he was terrible. I don't think he was the worst player on the pitch. I thought there was a 20-minute spell in that start of the second half when he started to get on the ball a bit. You know, put a couple of lovely little passes down the right channel, but not enough of that for me in the game. Gave the ball away few too many times. Didn't really control the tempo. Off the ball work great. I think he's massively limited now in terms of he's clearly not as intense. You know, for me, he was one of the most intense midfielders in the Championship in the 2 years we were in there. This season, start of the Premier League, most intense player in terms of midfield, in terms of winning the ball back. What's your feeling on Klich at the minute?
Yeah, he just needs to have a rest. He needs to rest, get his injuries sorted out, and come back next season, because he's clearly not playing the same way that he was at the start of the season. And with all that being said, tonight it has to be 5, and I'm probably being generous there. I would say 5, because he's not being able to do the stuff that he usually does on the pitch, and that's a large part of his game. But I don't know if he's going to want to take the risk of having a surgery now and miss the Euros. I don't think he'll want to do it. So and that kind of worries me now, because I think, what is he going to be, 31 next season? Is he going to be 30 or 31? It's
31 in June, I think. 31 in June, right. I believe.
Yeah. So and they're already going to be looking at getting another central midfielder in. So he needs to worry about not going down the Adam Forshaw route of being, you know, not repairable. So I still believe in Klich over the next couple of years, but he just needs to get his body right.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your take on Klich today?
This might be the first unanimous chat that we've had tonight, but I completely agree with everything that all three of you have said so far. I really like Klich. I think he's got the ability to play in the Premier League. He's clearly struggling with that injury, and I really wish we had cover where we could just send him away for a few weeks to rest and get the treatment.
Rodrigo de Paul.
He's good. He's a good player. 5. And I'm probably being slightly generous because it's Klich, but yeah, I went 5 as well.
Well, let's go to Twitter.
Would you have been so generous to Costa, though? Just saying.
Costa's not playing with an injury and he's a tool.
I just wanted to dig again.
Yeah, but listen, no, Klich, I know your thing, but...
Yeah, Klich's earned it.
Yeah, Klich's done bits for this guy. Costa hasn't.
Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd dig it back up.
Klich's earned a lot of credit. A lot more credit than Costa. That's the thing for me. I think Harrison's earned a lot more credit than other players as well. I think they've learned a lot more credit than Roberts has, to be honest. If I'm being totally honest, and I'm going to move on to him in a second. But yeah, Twitter agrees. Twitter has gone 40% have gone 5 out of 10 for Matthias Klich. So let's go on to Tyler Roberts. I mean, first half, I thought, okay, You know, he did try and get on the ball, but not enough quality. Not enough quality. Didn't make the game tick in any kind of respect. Second half, I can't lie, shocking second half.
Phil,
I mean, there's a
what's your
spell.
Sorry.
I keep hearing loads of feedback. That's
I was wondering what it was.
I keep muting it.
You were blowing
Right.
it. I was like, "What's that, man? My ears."
There was a minute spell, in fact, which ended up in he was taken out by Matt Target. He then decided to hit Target in the knee with the ball or whatever it was. And then he gave the ball away, literally in a 30-second spell. In a 30-second spell, 3 times, and then lost the header to John McGinn at the end of it. I mean, I like Tyler Roberts. You know I like Tyler Roberts, but he's not done anything to help appease himself with fans who criticise him. And there's fair criticism with Tyler Roberts. He was not good enough tonight. I'm going to go to KG. KG, what was your take on Tyler Roberts tonight?
It's the thing again, isn't it? I mean, we could rinse repeat on Tyler Roberts. He had a chance. I know Martinez made a good save, but for me, a better finisher finishes.
Should he score that?
Yeah. How many of those? Look, another striker there. If Bamford probably gets it, he probably scores that shot that Tyler Roberts had. He's just not clinical, and if he's not a striker, I don't know what he does. And I'm going to be honest, man, he was very lucky not to get sent off, because if VAR was in a different mood, whoever's in that VAR room, if it was a different person and the way that he kicked out, he could have been red carded for that, just for showing aggression like that on the pitch. So he got off lightly. I thought the VAR were going to overturn it. So he's got to be better with that. You know, Villa, they were 1-0 up at the time. They're going to try and slow the game down. They're going to hold the ball up when we drew a free kick. He can't react like that in future, otherwise he will get sent off. But in general, again, it was the same. It was the same again with him. A lot of loose balls, and I'm aware creative players lose the ball, but I'm still of the mindset at this moment in time that he needs to at least have a loan out somewhere where he's the main man in another team, and then come back and show us what he's about. That's my mindset with this guy at the moment. Either that or he gets sold, because when we're linked with players like Rodrigo de Paul and you're putting them up against a Tyler Roberts who play in a similar position, I'm sorry, it's not even close. We're not even talking about Tyler Roberts if RDP comes in.
Well, obviously, there's 12 games we've got left now. What would your feeling be on in terms of Costa and Roberts for the last sort of 12 games or so? Would he be on the bench for you, coming off the bench, or would you just give someone else the opportunity now?
Yeah,
in terms of the last 12 games.
That's the problem that we've got, isn't it? And that's why I said in the January window, we didn't need to buy anyone, but I would like just to see us loan somebody, just to give us an extra body, just for cover. And we don't really have another option in there, so we might have to just pursue with Tyler Roberts. But this is his chance now. He's getting a run of games right now. He needs to make people like me and other people that don't think he's up to the standard say, you know what, he's actually a good squad player and we can keep him around. He's not showing it. And where we're looking, and you got to think where Victor Orta and Rajasani's looking, because they want European football, whether it's Europa League next year or the year after, whichever it is, they're looking at it and saying we need to make improvements. And I'm sure that he's one of them.
Can I go next here?
Yeah, Phil, fire away.
Right. Before I start, I want to say I thought Tyler was probably our worst player tonight. But
yeah, fair point.
The age that Tyler Roberts is at this moment in time is exactly the same age that people like me and you were saying that Calvin Phillips was shit.
We've heard this one before. I was trying to think who made this argument before.
So it's an argument for a reason, mate. Like Tyler Roberts is young.
No, I said the same thing yesterday.
We should be. I agree with KG. Sending him out on loan to a championship side wouldn't be the worst idea. But I disagree with KG that I don't think that having Tyler Roberts as a squad player, whereas last season we had Jack Clark as a squad player, and I personally always thought Jack Clark was shit, to be honest. I think we got a fucking great 10 million quid out of Jack Clark. I think Tyler Roberts isn't that bad. I actually thought first half, when I was saying with Llorente, I don't want to go back over it, but for someone to carry the ball I know Joe is right by saying he carries that ball far too long and doesn't release it at the right time. But we do need a hell of a lot more of somebody carrying that ball for a little bit of time to get us up the pitch. And he does do an element of that. He just doesn't bloody pass when he gets there. And that's what the problem is, which is why he probably does need that game time in the Championship. But I don't think he's a bad squad player in comparison. Like, you look at the bench that we had tonight, take out the 3 people that come on. Would you rather see Roberts on the bench or Niall Huggins? Or I'm not discrediting players like Niall Huggins. They're academy players, but Roberts has more experience than an academy player, but he isn't first team quality. He's a bench player. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having him as a bench player when Rodrigo is fit.
I do. I hear you about the ball carrying thing, and that's why I don't agree with those that say Pablo should start ahead of him, because it's not just a straight swap. Like, they don't offer the same things, and Tyler does carry it, but he's just so frustrating for me. I said earlier on in the post-match, he might as well start taking shots from the halfway line so that by the time it rises, it'll actually hit the top bins. Because from wherever he shoots from, it's just rising. Wherever. It can be 6 yards, edge at box, cutbacks. He just goes like this. He needs to learn to keep it. Like KJ says, I do agree. Although we're being harsh and maybe we're not sick. I think if that's a different level of player, we would say he should finish it. But because it's Tyler, we accept it. But maybe, you know, someone would finish that. But look, my notes, Tyler held on too long, moved the ball. It's so frustrating to watch when he picks it up in a dangerous area. Costa's ahead of him. Or we as fans can see opposition players, you know, closing in on him. And you just know, like he's going to lose the ball or run into a brick wall. And I guess that comes with experience and with time, and maybe a loan would help that. But unfortunately, we have to accept this because Bielsa likes a small squad, and that's the situation we're in, I guess. But he wasn't great tonight, and the quicker Rodrigo's back, the better. I don't think putting Pablo in is the answer for me. Just my personal opinion.
For me, Chris, I think the biggest problem with Roberts, we still don't know his best position. Or I don't think he's truly mastered one position. Do you feel that? I just don't think he's true. We've tried him in so many different positions. We've tried him as an 8. We've tried him as a 10. We've tried him up top. We've tried him occasionally on the wing. We've just not found that best position for him. Yeah. And I don't think it's hard to quantify for me in that kind of sense. What would you say to that, Chris?
Tyler's the only player where I've got a list of points to make from tonight's game. And we've had discussions about Tyler before. That's why I think Tyler Roberts will still be a Leeds United player next season. One is age, which KG's already mentioned. And I do agree with KG that he probably needs to go out on loan and have a season at a decent Championship club and prove himself. The other thing is the legend that is Pablo, we think is probably done and sadly on his way at the end of this season. I know he probably comes in, but that's probably enough with Pablo going that it keeps Tyler around. He shouldn't be starting games, and he won't be starting games if we've got a fully fit squad. Let's be honest about that. Yeah. You know, Liverpool fans have moaned about, what's his name? Is it Thiago? And he slows the game down too much and takes too many touches. Home bargains Thiago. He gets. I
can't believe I've just heard Thiago and Tyler Roberts. Thiago, Champions League winning man of the match. Tyler Roberts.
Yeah, I agree. But for the style of Liverpool,
I know what you mean.
Doesn't suit it. And Tyler doesn't suit the Bielsa way. He's twatting around on the ball far too much. Get it up. Rodrigo, when he plays, he gets the ball in midfield. He takes one touch, his head's up, and he's looking for Raphinha or Bamford or Harrison making a run. Tyler gets the ball, does 3.5 turns, chases his tail.
I love that description. Just twatting around.
It's true, though. He just donuts
I love
on
that.
the ball, doesn't he?
It's like a dog.
Yeah.
Spinning around.
Harrison used to do it. Harrison used to do it in his first season. He would get to the byline, cut in, cut back, cut in, and you'd be like, just get the ball in the box. He doesn't do it anymore, but yeah, Tyler's still in that stage where he's just like doing donuts in with the ball, man. He's just
What's
frustrating.
We saw it last game. He's got a pass in him, so do it. Get the
Yeah.
ball and get it gone. And yeah, it frustrates me. I was really hoping, along with Costa tonight, that they both prove me really wrong and go out there and absolutely own it. And just like Costa, he did nothing to change my mind on him, sadly.
And as well, and this isn't to say that Villa defended. The Villa that we faced tonight wasn't a great side. It wasn't a great side. We should have performed much better. I could understand if it was Villa at full tilt, playing how they can play throughout the season, or another, good side. But they were there for the taking tonight. They weren't great for me. They're missing, obviously, Grealish as well, Cash. There was Barkley's not on form and he was dropped. They were there for the taking. So it's not as if Tyler and Costa just came up against an unreal. I don't know. We've got Chelsea in 2 weeks. The way Tuchel's got them playing and not conceding and playing well. If it's up against them, fair enough. But Villa were there for the taking tonight, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's get some ratings in for. Let's get some quick ratings anyway. So I'll go to Phil first. Quick rating for you: 5 for Roberts. Chris.
If I'm giving Costa a 4, which I did step up to, I'm giving Tyler the same, a 4.
Okay. KG?
Yeah, 4.
Okay. Joe?
Yeah, I agree with the lads, yeah.
4 as well?
Yeah, I'll go with the lads, yeah.
I was thinking more 5, but I'm happy to go down the 4 route. Let's go to Twitter. Right. Let's have Twitter. Let Twitter have the deciding vote on this one. Hang on a second, guys. Sorry about this. Twitter has gone for. Twitter's been a bit more generous. Twitter 42% have gone 5s. Can we shake hands on the 5?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Right, Raphinha. I've got 100% agree with Joe Wayman here. Probably by the high standards we hold Raphinha in, and rightly so, probably his quietest game so far this season for me. What would you say to that, KG?
Yeah. I saw people earlier questioning what I'll say about him today because I'm, Raphinha FC. But yeah, I mean, some of the deliveries weren't good today, but at the same time, there was a few that were good, but people just weren't moving. So there's not much you can do if there's no movement in the box. I thought that was quite a common theme tonight, actually. I thought the movement today from a lot of the players was very static compared to our usual selves. But yeah, it wasn't a great day. And he did have that header. I know Joe said that Harrison did nothing, but he put in a nice ball for Raphinha. He headed it wide. It just wasn't his day. I know he tried another outside the left foot thing. It went straight through to Martinez and usually on another day that's going to one of our players. So yeah, it wasn't his best outing today, and I could hold my hands up and say that. But that's the point, though, isn't it? Like if he's having an off day, it's up to somebody else to have an on day, and it didn't happen.
No, fair enough. There's no one in terms of wingers who's got that same level of influence for me as Raphinha, and it's hard. That's what's going to be. That's what next season's about for me. To be honest, KJ, I know you're perfectly right to say we need another 2 or 3, 4 or 5 Raphinhas in the long term, and I think we're going to get that. When you get people like Rodrigo de Paul through the door, when you have a day like Raphinha has that off day, we don't lose that game. Rodrigo de Paul is the one who's that guy. He produces the moment of magic. Maybe we have Rodrigo on the pitch. Even just Rodrigo on the pitch. Maybe he produces the moment of magic. I think I definitely agree in terms of what you're saying.
Yeah, Oscar, and that's what I'm saying, because I saw a comment on the video yesterday, and somebody said that I said that we need to get 4 or 5 more Raphinhas in, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you got to.
I know what you meant. I know, yeah.
Yeah, but I know what I meant. I thought it was pretty simple too, but I'll just explain. It's not about getting another Raphinha because he is one of those players that could go on to another club for like 70, 80 million. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's about getting players that when he does make a pass and somebody's shooting it, it doesn't go up into the stand. It at least goes on target, or somebody keeps their shot down. It's about somebody that when he's making a split ball, they're running for it instead of waiting and seeing where it's going. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You have to get players on his wavelength, and when he's having an off night, well, this is an off night for him. And this an off night for him is somewhere where he still created a few chances. So that just shows how good the guy is. But yeah, it wasn't classic Raphinha today by any stretch of the imagination.
I know how much of a fan of Raphinha you are, Chris. Obviously, we've joked about it many times, but just never came off for him tonight. You can see what he was trying to do. That's the thing. There was nothing. It just didn't come off for him tonight. I think there was times when we put the ball behind him too much in that first half, when every single time Raphinha's on the break, the ball keeps going behind him. I could tell how frustrated he was at times with the teammates around him, and there's not a lot you can do in that situation, though, is there?
Do you know what, Oscar? That's exactly right. And I'm a fully signed up member to Raphinha FC as well. Do you know what I mean? But do you know what it came across like to Rafa with me tonight? Rafa's at his best when he's flowing and things are just happening. It looked like he was taking the weight of the team not being great tonight on his shoulders, and he was almost too hard to make stuff happen. It looked like he felt like he had to perform because the rest of us just weren't. We were off the boil. And to be fair, from talking to Score, I gave him a 6 because even though he wasn't classic Raphinha, like KG said, he still did create a couple of chances. And do you know what? He still worked his knackers off. And there's others that question on work rate tonight as well, which we haven't really covered. But yeah, it's just one of those nights. But we know that the next game, the Raphinha we're all used to will probably turn up and he'll ruin another career with some audacious bit of skill. Bit of an off night. And I just think, yeah, he took it all on himself tonight and he didn't look fluid and relaxed.
Would you move him back onto the right against West Ham?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think scares the living daylights out of teams when he's cutting in off that right hand side.
Yeah,
I agree. I think as well. Not only that, I do agree with everything the lads have said, but I also agree that maybe the players who played tonight as well expected too much from him.
100%.
There only ever seemed to be one ball. Give it Raphinha. Give it Raphinha. Yeah. We can't have that. And that again comes to getting better quality players, because ultimately what will happen if that becomes our thing, give it Raphinha, he'll get doubled up on 20. And I'm not saying he won't get out of that, but he'll get nullified. Do you know what I mean? They will come to stages where that won't work anymore. He's still got that element of surprise. People are obviously getting wise to him, yeah? We need to be wary. But I did feel that he was let down tonight by some of the balls that were played into him, but also there was a little bit too much, as in just give him the ball, just give him the ball. I don't know. I think it's worth mentioning.
You know what?
Yeah, that's a good point. Can I just say something? Someone said in the chat there about Brazilians and the Portuguese. Well, he played with Bruno Fernandes at Sporting, and Bruno Fernandes at Man United is the exact same way. And you've even got Man United fans wondering if they're going to keep Bruno Fernandes because he's currently playing at a level which is above his teammates, and he gets frustrated. So think about how Raphinha is. They must, and they're friends. Think about just how similar they must be, and Raphinha getting frustrated with some of the players that he's got around him. And that is no disrespect to the team. It really isn't. It's just the reality of where we are, and with a player like Raphinha in the squad now.
I think you can go back to, like, say, even I think it's a South American thing. You know, you go back to like Sanchez at Arsenal all those years ago, and that lot in terms of the best player on the pitch by a mile, or Aguero in the early days at City. You know, they've got that aggression about them, that just the winners. That's what I think. They got that mentality. You know, I think you saw from Raphinha at Crawley away, when he's shoving that player off the pitch, kind of thing, showing that bit of aggression, you know, that frustration, that anger. I love that, and that's what I think is going to make Raphinha a top 5 in the world winger at some point in terms of in his position, one of the best, you know, in terms of in the future. I think that's a little spirit about it. I mean, what was your take on Raphinha's day, Phil?
Same as a lot of the other guys of what they've said, not too dissimilar. I do think there's an element of what Joe said we had in the Championship where we were sort of bereft of ideas. We'd just go, all right, fine, give it Pablo. And we did sort of have that tonight where we were like, right, we don't really know what to do. We'll just give it Rafa, see what happens. I think the best compliment you could pay Raphinha after a game like tonight's is that if Leeds were going to create anything, it was going to be through him, and that was the only way we were going to get anything out of this game. I don't think it would have been fair to give him a 5 or even a 4 like you've given Costa or Roberts. I think it wasn't his greatest game, but I've given him a 6, and I think he was just average. Like that is, if that is his average performance and that's what he does as a 6, then as we all know already, seeing him produce a 7, an 8, a 9, or a 10, or like someone said on the last show, like if he's the first person we're giving an 11 to, like we're very, very, very fortunate to have a player of his caliber and his quality at our club. And please God, hopefully we keep him for the long distance future and he stays here. Like, even though the passes were behind him and it didn't come off tonight, we still got to see that he's a top quality footballer, and fingers crossed he'll be with us for a few years and he'll be able to take us into those top 5 brackets. And
you know what, I completely agree with what Joe said, about teams will just put up on him if that's the angle we're going to take.
Yeah.
That's get more savvy as a team. I think we do have Raphinha next season, unless stupid money comes in. And I do think we will improve next season. I think we'll go quite big in the transfer market this summer. But if we're still languishing around 10th to 12th next, I think we're having a different discussion around if Rafa stays.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it's for the same reasons like Sanchez and everyone else, that they come to win. Now, we came for the project, and I've said this and I've agreed with Joe on this, but that project isn't going to last forever. And he did look a great figure tonight at some of his teammates.
And know this as well, Know this as well. He's going to go to them,
Oh, don't say that.
What? Raphinha?
No, please.
I think he will.
No.
If the money's put up, and I'm not saying this season, and I might get shot down for it, but we need to be wary that that's a realistic move he could make, especially with Bruno Fernandes being there.
Sorry, so where? I didn't hear the club. Where?
I don't say their name. That team across the Pennines.
Them.
Oh,
Scum.
All right.
I actually think Liverpool's more likely, to be honest. I get that feeling Liverpool's as likely.
No, Oscar, it won't happen. They don't have the money. They don't have the money for it. They just
what for Raphinha?
Yeah, they do. For what we're going to be asking for Raphinha, they paid 45 for Jota. We're not just going to accept 45 for Raphinha. No way.
No.
Yeah, I think
he's got 4 years left on his contract too. We're in the driving seat here, so we can set the price. But anyway, let's not even talk about that. I want him to stay, so I don't even want to.
What I'd say about him is,
I might get hammered for that.
No, it's a possibility. Man United don't have a right winger. They don't have a right winger in the team.
I'm not saying that it's going to happen. This I don't, but I just saying like if Chris's prophecy, not his prophecy, but what he's just said comes true, and next season we were still languishing in this position, then know that that's a realistic possibility because we're in a totally different generation now. It's not like it once was. You might not agree, Leeds fan, but it is what it is, especially from players moving from club to club. And if Bruno Fernandes is still there, they have a relationship, and Man United throw cash like there's no tomorrow, and he's still doing bits, then it's a realistic possibility that will be his move. Just saying.
Could go anywhere. We could go abroad. Yeah, we could go to Bayern Munich. It could go anywhere. That's the thing.
Just to Giancarlo's point, I'm not saying Liverpool don't have the money. Their model is they sell to buy. So unless they're selling somebody at a big price, they're not going to buy anybody. You've just seen what they've done in January in terms of getting in centre back. They've got somebody on loan with an option to buy, not obligation, and they got Ben Davis from the Championship.
And Kabak.
That's him. That's the one with the.
Didn't even buy Kabak, by the way. They didn't even buy him. They're only on loan.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of Liverpool. Whereas I know Joe doesn't like, but Man United. I can see him going somewhere there or one of those big clubs because he's got that ability. But it's on us and it's up to the club in the summer to make those 4 or 5 moves so we can see that we're going to progress next summer and at least try and get European football. If we're 10th next year, it's unrealistic and it would be very silly of any Leeds fan to expect him to stay. It's just so unrealistic.
I personally think, though, I think Man United, I can't see them going for anyone other than Jadon Sancho, to be honest. I can't see, and I think that probably leaves us okay if he does go if he goes there, there's no real risk of Raphinha. They're going in for Raphinha as well. That's just, I might be totally wrong on that, but I think all those noises last summer. But what I will say about Raphinha is, at this moment in time, he's undoubtedly the main man.
Yeah.
If he goes to Real Madrid, anywhere, he won't be. He won't. And I'm not saying that, but right at this moment in time in his career, as he's approaching, what's he, 24 at the minute? When he gets to 27, 28, that's probably the moment where you think he's in his peak. That's when he wants to win the big trophies, when he wants to be making himself the best he possibly can be. I think at this moment in his career, I'd like to think, this might be completely naive, I'd like to think he might fancy another year of being the main man, try and see how far he can carry this on this project. Don't get me wrong, if someone offers us 80, 90 million in the summer, which is not totally beyond the realms of possibilities, he's basically getting a goal or assist a game, I think it is at the minute. It's not beyond the realms that... Because for me, he's ahead of the queue than the Neto is. Pedro Neto is another one that's been mentioned. I think personally, I think Raphinha's the better player.
He scored a world
Neto's a quality player, but Raphinha's, for me, is the better of the two. I think Raphinha is the better of the two.
I'm going to jump in the Lions' den with Joe, and I'm going to say the only way he goes to Liverpool is if they've sold Salah and they see him as a replacement. So, like KG said, however, Raphinha won't have that. Like Leeds fans, we hate that team over the Pennines. But he won't.
Yeah, you're right.
Same thought process. He sees, you know what, they're on to win something here if they throw 200 million at it. So he goes. And I'm not saying this season, but like I said before, if that scenario at the end of next season happening, then potentially that's probably one of the
All I'm saying is they're winning now, by the way. But when Liverpool, as soon as they get Virgil van Dijk back and some centre-backs, there's not a chance that they're competing with Liverpool for me. Personally, if Liverpool keeps Salah, I don't think it's that attractive a proposition other than maybe... there's still that. But if you've got other teams on the table, other top-class teams, I still think he takes them rather than Man United, personally.
But it's also the lure of regular year in year out Champions League football. I mean, he left Rennes, who got to the Champions League. He obviously probably knew they weren't going to do much, but this isn't a long term thing. He knows they've obviously spoken to him and said that there's a project in place. Let's see where we go with this. He's not going to leave Champions League football to come to a just promoted Premier League team without. Place.
The thing that Raphinha's been promised, though, at this club is exactly what we as fans have been promised. We've been told that we're aiming for European football within 3 seasons. They've told him exactly the same thing. I kind of don't think that... I thought we'd finish about 12th this season. If we finish higher, fantastic, great. If we don't, then whatever. But I think if we were to finish 12th this season, 10th or 9th next season, top half, and then the 3rd season that he's here, then we try and aim for Europe... I do think he'd stick around for that. He's come here for Bielsa. A lot of the players that signed this summer cited Bielsa as the reason they've come. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work for a man like Bielsa and the prestige that he holds. And to be able to work for Bielsa under this project, he signed a 4-year contract. Like you've said before, if somebody does offer us stupid money, 80, 90 million, by all means, snap their hand off. We'll replace him for 17 mil like we just have. But I don't see anybody offering that kind of money anytime soon because obviously coronavirus has impacted people financially and they don't have that money. But at the same time, I think Raphinha would be happy to stay here for a 3-year period without European football and try and get European football in that 3rd season.
Do you know what, Phil?
Can I just say some? Yeah, sorry. I'll just quickly say to that, and I actually do agree with Phil on that, in that he will want to stay for the project, but. As we know in football, things change all the time. I mean, he's getting so much praise right now. His head's probably turning left, right. Like all these clubs are sending out feelers and everything else like that. It doesn't take much in football for someone just to say, you know what, I want to leave, and then some big club comes in and takes him away. We've seen it happen before to bigger clubs than us. And
but would he be getting that praise if he was already at a Liverpool or a Man United? Because he wouldn't be the main man, like one of the other guys said a minute ago. Like he looks that good because he is the best player we have by a mile.
Yeah. And Phil, to that. Yeah, but Phil, to that, that's where clubs, and I'm not even saying Tottenham are a big club, but They're looking at it like they've got Son Kane. They've got Son Kane, but that right hand side is so it's dead. And they're saying, well, you know what? Go and get that Raphinha guy because he will complete our front three. That's what I'm talking about, and that's where those things always start. But I'm hopefully he'll be here next season. I think he will be here next season. That's my heart talking. Yeah. I'm just saying that those things do crack up in football.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree with everyone's saying. Do you know what I say? I think, and we're talking if buts and maybes here, aren't we? At the end of the day, to the season, we probably see an RDP come in. We see 2 or 3 other real quality acquisitions comes in. Raphinha looks around the season and goes, do you know what? This team's really going places. I'm happy here. And this conversation doesn't happen.
Mate, him and De Paul is going to be disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got to say, if we got into the summer and we didn't show that level of ambition, I can't blame him. I can't blame him. I can't blame him. Yeah, with the potential he has. But there's a lot of good young wingers in the world at this moment in time. There's a lot of good young wingers. Already mentioned like Jadon Sancho, Canabry, all these different players, Coman. There's loads of good wingers around, and that's the good thing. Raphinha, to be fair, I still think clubs might wait a year just to see how he develops in the second season. Because you see, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's just going to get better and better and better. But you do see some people drop off a little bit from time to time. I don't think it will happen because I think Raphinha's got so much fire in his belly, he won't let his standards slip. But let's have any ratings. So obviously Chris and Phil have gone 6s for Raphinha. KG, you in agreement there?
Yeah, 6.
Joe?
I'll go with the rest. Yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6 as well. Yeah, 6 is all the way. Twitter, Twitter's gone. Twitter's actually gone 7, but there wasn't a 7 there, was there? That's just Twitter. That's Twitter being very generous. Let's overrule that. Let's go a 6. There's no way he's getting a 7 for that today, I'm afraid. I love Raphinha. But let's go on to Patrick Bamford. I've got nothing to really talk about. It's not his fault, though. Just no service into him. I mean,
you know what, Paddy?
No service.
You see, when Paddy has a quiet game is when our midfield's weak, and that was exactly that today. The lad was just running an impossible job up top on his own. Like you say, he got no service at all. We've all, at different stages, probably through Paddy's career at Leeds, said, get out of our club, blah, blah, blah. This season, none of that. He's been terrific. But the games where we've been weak in midfield, generally, we haven't seen much of Paddy, unless he's done something worldy. I just felt for him tonight. Like I felt for Pascal being in a position he doesn't play normally. I felt for Paddy because he just looked isolated. Klich couldn't get up to him because he's not 100%. Tyler was chasing his own tail in the centre circle, doing donuts. And you know what I mean? So, yeah, just felt for Paddy tonight. I gave him a 5, but just because he didn't do anything wrong, but he didn't really do anything again, I guess. He tried, though.
KG, any different thoughts to Chris there at all?
No, it's been a problem with our main midfielders being out. People say that they don't see what Rodrigo does, but he does a lot that people don't see, and chances do get created when balls are being put through to Bamford. He's not getting that. The crosses aren't really coming in. He's not getting the service, so you can't really mark him down for that. And he's coming back. He's trying to make things happen. He's trying to get involved. He's doing a little hustle and bustle with their opposition. He can't be blamed for today. He just can't.
No, I agree. Phil, anything different on Bamford in terms of thoughts?
I'd struggle, to be honest, mate. I've gone 5 or 6, either one. I don't think he was terrible. He was just average. It was just one of them where there's not really much you can do. And I think there was a stat before the game where they were saying all 5 of our home wins this season have come when Bamford scored in the home games. So he didn't score, we didn't win. Simple.
Well, Chris has gone a 5. Let's get some ratings in for Bamford. Anyone disagreeing with a 5?
No.
5 or 6.
I think 5's about right, to be honest. I think. Can we agree on the 5?
Yeah.
Twitter agrees as well. Well, let's go. I think for the last 3 players, because Wayman, to be fair, has not had any tea yet. The commitment is unreal. I can't believe how long we've been speaking for. I've really enjoyed this. Let's just go on to the last 3 players. I think let's just go for ratings on the last 3 players. Let's get some quick fire ratings. There's not really much to talk about, I don't think, really. Johnny Aliofsky. Phil, what are you saying, Johnny Aliofsky?
Can't remember a thing he did, in all honesty. 5. Bang average.
I
Chris?
remember something he did, a 5-yard pass, got it wrong. 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
4 for
Are you
me.
I
thinking
wasn't going to be the
4
one
as well?
to state though.
No, it's fair, bro. I remember, and we said it on the stream. He had no one around him. We were 5 minutes left in the game, trying to break quickly, and he misplaced a 5-yard pass with no pressure around him whatsoever, and it went straight out of play.
To Harrison.
Yeah, on his left foot. Yeah, on his favoured left foot as well. Yeah, bang on.
Yeah, I remember.
A dark man, Louis Vivar, never lets us down. Agenda's 2 out of 10.
These are agenda-driven ratings, though.
Louis Vivar does not have an agenda. I'm telling you that now. No agenda at all. Leave him alone. Leave him alone there, Phil. I was going to go 5, but I'm happy to go 4. I'm happy to go 4, to be honest.
Nobody deserves it.
I was going to say
4.
He does, bro. He came on and did nothing and then gave the ball away.
Yeah, I think, it's just not good.
For me, as a professional footballer, you shouldn't not miss 5-yard passes.
Yeah, no, you can have it, but I still think. What did he play? Like 20 minutes?
Yeah, and he was crap for most of it.
He's only touched the ball 10 times.
I know. Kept passing it to Bielsa.
But Phil, in that same instance, if Alioski comes on and sets up a goal, scores, his rating goes up. So it works both ways, man.
But my rating is going off like what I said about Costa, where I was saying that I gave him a 6 because I thought he was better than his average performance. I thought Alioski was his average performance tonight, so that's why I've given him 5.
Oh no, we don't do that, man. Like,
let's settle for 4. Let's move. I'm trying to move this on now. I'm trying to get Joe Wendy's team. We're going into a massive right. 4, John Alioski. Done. Right. Right. Let's go on to Jack Harrison. Classic 5. 5. I'd possibly even go lower, but I'll go 5.
5. Say 5.
No, great. What are you saying, Chris?
Yeah, 5. Played a good ball to Rafa, but apart from that, didn't really see him.
Yeah.
KG?
Yeah, 5. 5, definitely, yeah.
Joe, any objections to a 5?
Nah, move it on.
Yeah, 5. 5 Jack Harrison. Right. This is better. Right. Pablo Hernandez. I thought was all right, to be fair. Probably the best of the 3. He only came on. Did at least string a couple of passes together. Nothing too dramatic. I actually thought he was all right, to be honest. I'm thinking more of a 6 for Pablo Hernandez. Is that generous? I don't know. Is that generous or is that...
That's way too generous, man.
Really? You think?
What did the guy do?
I just thought
What did he do?
He was nice on the ball. I just thought he was nice and tidy on the ball. I don't think there was anything specifically he did bad.
He should have scored, you know.
Yeah, he should have
His
scored.
touch let him down.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I
was
forgot
Matt
about
Sharp.
that. I forgot about that, I admit.
And smashes it into back at net, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair.
Last season, he traps that and he scores.
Yeah.
He let him down.
Yeah, to be fair, I had completely forgotten that, to be fair. I'm have to go 5. I'm have to go drop down to a 5.
You are so easy to bully, Oscar.
Yeah, but no, it's true. I did forget
so
about it. It's a poor touch. Crucial time in the game. It was a poor touch.
Stick to your guns, man.
I was going to say 6 when he could have got something out of the game.
Now, we already know Phil don't believe in moments, so let's just move on at it.
I believe in moments. I've not said that.
I bet you gave Pablo Hernandez a 6 after Swansea away, mate, to be fair.
Yeah.
He did nout else.
Mate, I gave him a 15.
He did nout else in the game, I think.
Do you know what it's come to now with Pablo? And this is probably going to be slightly controversial. I might piss a few fans off, but it's almost upsetting me seeing him come on now. He looks dumb, and I love Pablo for everything he's done for this football club. And we get to say goodbye to him properly with the fans in the ground.
He don't want to be here, mate.
But he just looks a yard short in the Premier League.
He knows it though as well, doesn't he? This is a horrifying thing.
He knows. Yeah, he does know. Yeah.
And
I think his heart's gone.
Love him, but yeah, it's sad to see.
Of course, we all love him. We'll never forget what he did for us, and that Swansea moment is one of the best moments of all of our lifetimes. But end of the day, head and heart, he's gone, and he was gone in January. And it's a shame that when he comes on the pitch, I don't think even if he plays a worldie, anyone's going to give him more than a 6 because he doesn't want to be here. But
I will. I will.
Like Oscar before he was bullied into lowering his rating.
I forgot about that moment of the game. Could have got something out of the game. It was a big moment in the game. It was a terrible touch.
Anyway,
and a big moment in the game.
Before you were bullied, Oscar, the rating that you gave of 6, I think he was better than the other 2 substitutes. I thought he at least gave us something. I gave him a 6, but 5's also fair, but that's only if you're giving the other 2 subs a 4. He was better than the other 2 subs. He tried to do something, whereas Jackie, apart from that one ball and Alioski passing out of play, then Pablo's better.
Honestly, I'm gonna end up losing the air after these last 2 ones. I got that wound up the last 2 ones. I'm gonna be completely bold next time I film now. But any objections to a 5? Any objections to a 5?
I'm going 6.
You're going 6. I'm still going 5. I still think that.
I'll take the 5. I'm fine with that.
KG Joe 5. Yeah, we'll go 5. We'll go 5. I'm sorry, Phil. I'm sorry. It's a 5. It's a 5. Right, we will leave it there. We will leave it there anyway. It's been absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure having you 3 legends on with me and Joe. It's cheered me up a lot. I'm not going to lie.
This is why this works, man, because now I feel good again.
Does anybody remember we lost?
No, that's what I'm saying, though.
So you remember Diego Llorente?
No, don't bring him up again.
No. Don't do it again.
I'm just, I think you both got carried away. That's why I had to bring some guys.
Get carried away. This is the thing. This is what annoys me now.
I had to call the backup in. I was like,
if we got carried away from Llorente, people have gone hard on Costa and Roberts then.
Right. Well, we will leave it there anyway. Big thanks to you 3 anyway for joining us. It has massively cheered us all up. Yeah. I mean, you got KG calling out someone in the comments saying, you got Phil calling out Diego Llorente, you got Chris calling out Costa. So it's been good fun. It has been good fun tonight. Absolutely brilliant.
Man, hey, listen to the guy in the comments, whoever it was, man. It's all good. I think it was just emotions running high at the time. So yeah, man, it's all good. From my end, anyway.
Good to hear. Well, we've got the ratings in. We've got some ratings in for ourselves here. Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh on Phil, that. But anyway,
I love that.
KG getting the 9. KG getting the 9.
I'll take that. Champions League spot. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right, we will leave it there anyway. I'll let
KG and Chris. That's KG and Chris never coming on after eclipsing us.
I know.
There he is. There he is. That's the guy, Dan Bob. All good, man, Dan Bob.
There we go. There we go.
It's all love, man. All love.
Good times.
Right, we will play the jingle and we will leave it there. But big thanks to you 3, as always. Make sure you check out KG on YouTube, KG Vision. And we will be back again. We will be back tomorrow. And we'll have a cheeky quiz. What is it we're doing tomorrow, Joe?
Wait a minute, Oscar. Put on the last rating by Greg Livingstone. It's quite accurate, I think.
Yeah.
Calma. Yeah.
love that.
I'm sure Cage's got a load of what's his name accounts set up here. To be fair, I'm sure Cage's set up about 3 accounts here, and he's putting the comments in. Oh right, before the Villa fans are turning up now. I think we should sign off anyway. Let's sign off before we get wound up again. We'll leave it there anyway, guys. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Content out tomorrow.
Play the tune.
Play the tune. Right, let's get done. We're out of here.